First of all, I just want to say that I'm so grateful for all your comments on the channel, especially under the Gehraiyaan review. It's absolutely insane on the varied opinions that can exist in this community regarding any product and how respectful everyone is. I mean, at least try to be. I think the reason why the film has divided audiences so much and has showcased a spectrum of opinions is because of the great treatment of characters by Shakun Batra that develops great discussion on social media. Through this video, I want to shed light on various topics regarding the film, so you've already been warned about spoilers, some wacky ass conspiracy theories, and an analysis of the characters and what I genuinely felt about their actions throughout the film. As I talk about a lot of features from the movie, please also do chime in on whether you agree with the same sentiment or want to contest it in the comments below. I'm going to go in chronological order just like the film's screenplay, so let's get to it. What I appreciate about the film, and I did not give enough credit to Shakun Batra regarding the same, is the foreshadowing that he does with subtle instances in movies. When you watch the film again, these instances become even more apparent, as you already know where the characters are heading. What may catch you off guard in the first viewing actually makes more sense when you watch it the second time. The concept of being stuck is repeated again and again, whether it be Alisha's mother in her life or Alisha herself as she communicates the same to Zen. The film actually sets up the link between Alisha and her mother from the very first scene on how unknowingly running away from what she never wanted to associate with, she exactly became that. A skill that should be admired when it comes to screenplay writing. You know, a lot of people were complaining about how conveniently Alisha left Karan after spending 6 years with him, but I think the film essentially starts with Alisha being on her last straw regarding the relationship. She is constantly undermined and is fed up of the monotony in the relationship, probably fed up of Karan's approach with life of seeing it half empty all the time and just not being ambitious enough. The lack of communication from her side and basically cheating on him, something for which I will come to later, is another problematic trait. But I think we tuned into the lives of Alisha and Karan at a time when we knew it's just slowly crumbling as both partners are growing apart rather than growing together. A great detail that you may have noticed or missed, let me know in the comments below, but I thought of it as nothing when Tia was constantly awkward with Alisha in the initial meetings. Little did I know it was all the foreshadowing of the secret that she knows about her father and the property of Alibag. Notice very carefully if you see the film again, but Tia tries to avoid eye contact and skirt away from conversations the moment Alisha addresses the Alibag property as her home. What supposedly was passed off as frivolous was actually a very important part of the film, something that was performed well by Ananya Pandey, and I think Shakun Batra consistently does that with his films. A wild conspiracy theory also is that Alisha is seen lurking on Tia's lavish life on social media, and how the insecurity of not having the same fate as her childhood cousin, she may have out of spite and pure venom actually been receptive to Zen to give it back to her in the most cruel way possible. I can't have the quality of your life, but hey, your fiancé is obsessed with me. Twisted, yes, but it's just a theory. What I have to say regarding the chemistry between Alisha and Zen is that I was convinced of the physical or sexual attraction that initially pulled them in. I mean, you have a guy who is aggressively hitting on his girlfriend's cousin and a woman who is unhappy in her own relationship being receptive to it. This sexual attraction was convincing in my eyes. Something that I did not buy, however, was how that transformed into love for one another. We switched from a deeply physical relationship to just pure financial turmoil, leading to abrupt arguments where all of a sudden their love for one another was coming out. So while of course no one agrees that the relationship is a good idea from a moral standpoint, strictly from a movie point of view, the sexual tension was understandable, but the feeling of love and longing for one another seemed contrived to me. The concept of assholes in the world of Gehraiyaan makes me think that other than Nasruddin Shah and Ananya Pandey's characters, everyone in their own way are kind of pricks. You have a person like Zen who constantly lies for his best interest. You have Alisha who snoops around with her cousin's boyfriend. You have Karan who unknowingly is toxic, communicating the frivolous nature of Alisha's work, dismissing it as something beneath what he does. You have Rajat Kapoor's character who basically is a wheeler dealer ready to kill anyone for his monetary gain, and the only pure souls among such people are Tia, a privileged naive girl, and Nasruddin Shah, an understanding and patient father. The most unconvincing or half-baked writing in this film was with respect to the origin story of Zen. In order to showcase some form of empathy for the man, this whole sequence of my dad beat up my mom and she was used to the domestic violence shtick just did not work in developing an iota of empathy in my eyes for him. The conspiracy theory though regarding the same can be that the man is such a manipulative liar that he actually made up the entire thing. When I think of manipulative liars that absolutely overwhelm their partners in movies, I think of Saif Ali Khan's character in Ek Hasina Thi and how he psychologically ruins Urmila Matondkar's character. That vicious switch seemed missing for me as Zain applies energy to the mission, which in his eyes is the only way to end his misery. Chirag Tawar Milani, a subscriber on my channel, really pointed out a great aspect of the film that could have been utilized better in the screenplay. You have Tia, who gives Zain a watch. This same watch is worn by Zain when he is on a yacht with Alicia as they take a selfie. When she crops the image, it still has the watch hanging over her shoulder, which makes me think that it could have been a great link for Tia to somehow connect the dots if she truly cared about investigating on what happened. Also, can I say, Tia was almost frustratingly naive. The way she sees Zain constantly on calls and being shady and randomly being on pills now, and to be convinced of his lies just through one instance was a little far-fetched for me. Even on the day of Zain's death, she got a call from Alicia, who she called back. But never did Tia ask why on the night when Zain died, why she called her. If you're so madly in love with someone and have lost them, these are necessary questions anyone would ask, I assume. I loved the meta references in this movie. I think all of us got annoyed of the repetitive nature with which the word fuck was utilized in the script, and even Karan's parents agreed on the same when he was proposing. The scene where Deepika is cropping the photograph and Zain tells her that she is shady, I could not stop at the lack of awareness as both were representative of that adjective. Nothing beats, however, Siddhant Chaturvedi communicating to Ananya Pandey that she treats him like an outsider. We have come full circle. There is merit to the argument that just like Alicia was feeling stuck in her relationship, Zain constantly felt like Tia's family were doing him a favor, incessantly reminding him of the sacrifices that they have made for him. So while he is with a girl who loves him dearly, he is part of a familial system where he feels more like an employee rather than a son. Can I just say, however, that this movie really makes it tough to root for anyone, and I think that's why there's such an active discussion regarding the movie. I could not empathize with Alicia's character barging into Zain's office demanding for answers of a yoga studio being shut, or landing up at his house to tell Tia the truth. She gives Zain an ultimatum to tell Tia about their affair, warning him that if he doesn't, she will. But this was rather convenient for Alicia, as she didn't have the balls herself to come clean to Karan that she was cheating on him. She wants to put the blame on Zain, but she is equally at fault for engaging in the affair while she was with a partner, by the way, of 6 years. The scene where Deepika shouts at Nasruddin Shah and he is almost speechless in her assumption that her mother felt suffocated because of his presence made me believe that Shah is a legend, and of skill that only a few possess. His eyes just communicating sorrow and baggage, not wanting to break the notion his daughter has of her mother is as clear as day. Even in the best scene of the film, he shines, where we get to know about the secret of infidelity that the father kept from Alicia. You empathize with Alicia in this moment, for the film essentially showcases the concept of childhood trauma, how it shapes us as humans, the angst one goes through in coping with the same, and most importantly, owning one's past as a part of their lives rather than their entire existence. But it still does not make me forget about all the lies and deceit that Alicia indulged in throughout the film. While I empathized with her momentarily, she for 2 years lived conveniently with that lie, not addressing it or coming clean. It is only fate or circumstances that lead to her past coming right in front of her face, almost pushing her in a corner to come to terms with it. Does the old woman expose Alicia in front of Tia? Of her posing as Zain's fiancé when they rescued the old couple on the yacht? Will she finally take responsibility and tell Tia and Karan the truth because that's what both of them deserve? Or are we just heading for a sequel where Zain का पुनर्जन्म होता है और वो बदला लेगा मंजूलिका की तरह? Okay, I'm pushing it. Irrespective, I think the open-endedness of the conclusion kind of irked me, but also led to these discussions which are very interesting. Personally, I feel Alicia would try to avoid the confrontation as she told Tia categorically that she is trying to put the past at bay. Maybe not being ready and addressing the lives she ruined along her journey because let's face it, she did ruin people's lives. It's just that they don't know about it yet. You also let me know your interpretation of the ending, your likes and dislikes about the certain creative choices in the film, and some wild conspiracy theories you have heard or thought about. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram, the handle's right in front of you, follow me at JammyPants4. Also please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.